Good evening. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your metal market wrap-up. And this wrap-up is for the evening of Wednesday, and we're at the 21st of January, 2026, time about 5:50 p.m. Central Time. Well, the silver's the market that got hurt the most in the metals today. We were looking most of the day at the gold up, the silver down. So there was a reversal going on. You're getting more of that tonight, and the gold is down $40 with it. So what went on? Maybe we should take a look, and then I'll explain to you what I think it is. Let's go first and take a look at what we're getting in news. First thing in the morning, we're going to get at 7:30 the second look, and this sounds crazy, of the third quarter GDP. Okay, and I don't think it's going to be that important because everybody's just going to be focusing on the first quarter. Jobless claims come out at 7:30. They're looking for an increase of about 10,000 jobs. The monthly personal income spending and PCE, the index data, comes out at 7:30. I did a whole write-up on this tonight for my subscribers. And when I say subscribers, I'm talking my paid subscribers where they get 2 updates a day from me, Monday through Thursday, another one on Friday, sometimes 2, and then Sunday night. But I explained what the market's looking for, what FactSet and some of the other companies are coming out with the estimates, and why the Fed probably sits tight because of this number. We'll see if my write-up is right. The weekly EIA natural gas storage comes out at 9:30. We're going to get the EIA petroleum stocks coming out, and that'll come out at 11. And then we just got the API numbers this afternoon. Remember the Martin Luther King threw all that off. And you can see you've got growth in most areas, which means that should weigh on energies a little bit. At the same time, we had the IEA and others coming out giving estimates as to where they think oil stocks are going to be for 2026. And obviously, trying to predict in January for a whole year is never an easy task and rarely right. But as they do this on a regular basis, you get the better story. Right now, they're looking for pretty much stability in overall supplies, and that's how I'm looking at what they're looking at. So the events of the day were President Trump arriving in Davos late, but getting his speech done on time, blasting everybody, telling everyone what a great job he was doing. And you could read between the lines what was going on. NATO, he made a statement that while the U.S. is always there for NATO, he would wonder if we were attacked, would NATO be there for us? I thought that was a pretty bold slap in the face. But this is how he negotiates. And 3 hours later, all of a sudden, breaking news, a framework deal on Greenland was reached. And in that frame deal, all of a sudden, the tariffs on the 8 members of NATO that were against the U.S. doing anything, and some had sent troops to Greenland for practice drills, those tariffs are now removed, and it looks as though we can finally get to the point where the U.S. can get what's needed, make investments, it'll protect Greenland, other countries will be there. We don't quite know. When we watched on CNBC, Joe was doing the interview, and he tried to press the president, and the president would go, no details. So, you know something's brewing. We don't know what it is. We know that the president showed the other side, his happy side. I can remove those tariffs and so on, but they'll come back if we don't get this framework and something done that we want. That's pretty much how I got out of it. Now, I also saw in that interview that I don't think you're going to see Kevin Hassett being your next Fed chair. Read between the lines on what the president said. He likes him in the position he's at. He does a great job. So this brings Rick Reeder, Kevin Warsh. You've got the other guys now coming up, and that gets interesting in the market, and that's helping a little bit of a bid. As I said, the API numbers, I think, weighed on this a little bit, and the stock market exploded to the upside with the idea that tariffs are off the table, and just maybe, just maybe. How do you like those spin of words? The Greenland issue is pushed back now, and it'll be discussed for a while to come. That's where I think we're at this point in time. So that takes some of the bubble out of this market. Now, what you know is when you get parabolic moves in any market, The corrections are swift. We'll see what happens. Let's go, if we could, to a chart on gold. For the week, if we were to end right now, and tomorrow's Thursday, it's not the end of the week, you're still up 4.33%, and you're up $198 an ounce. So even though gold's giving something back, it's not disastrous. You made your all-time high today. You're narrowing in and getting very close to that 5,000 mark. So at any point from here, as I see it, the market has reached up, and I call this parabolic. I mean, boom, but it really began again here. Right as the new year began, this just lifted straight up in the market. You've had a couple of corrections along the way where you've got higher lows. I think you'd agree with that. You seem to peak out. You're staying over all the key moving averages, be it the 18, the 100, or the 200-day average. And the Bollinger Band is continuing to act as the brake on the rising price. Now, a brake doesn't mean it causes a top. A brake means when it hits it, the market has a habit of giving you corrections from it. If you don't believe that, just go back and look at the charts on your own. Over here, we can step together over here. Look at how you see all that. Now, when you get one of these parabolic moves, sometimes you latch on and you just hold that. It didn't do it this time. The slow stochastics are still embedded. So until they lose that, I say that these breaks will get bought. If you've taken any of my courses, there's a moving average I use to figure out where the first support's going to be in the market. And when I look at the gold-silver ratio, well, this 50 level, we're not able to get under. You suddenly are making a pattern of higher lows, see the movement there, and higher highs. Are we going to go back to the 55 level? That becomes the question. When you look at the silver, it has kept its bullish embedded reading. It got hit today pretty good, way more than the gold market, and that's why you see the ratio moving up. But there's nothing ugly on that chart just yet. You're getting to a normal correction. Copper market didn't even get up to the Bollinger Band this time, but it is fighting the battle where I thought it would, the 18-day average of closes. If it gives severe ground there, you might go back into the 560 area, but you probably get oversold as you get there. Expect short covering if that were to occur. And the platinum market went up and revisited the upper band and turning back. That's why it's so important you understand those bands. In the dollar index, the market finished on a firmer note. I think you'd agree with that. And one more time, I thought the market could get into these moving averages, but it would have a heck of a time trying to just bust through them. That's the case. But now on the next test of not today's, but yesterday's low, I'd be very nervous. If that gets through that, you could resume this downtrend and be into wherever the Bollinger Band is, lickety-split. So how do you figure out what to do with these markets? That becomes the big question. And one of the things that I like to do is work with you on that. I put out, as I said, research at the 2 parts during the day, 11:30 in the morning to 12. I write my report. I've written it before then, getting it ready, giving you trade ideas. That's what that's all about. Or just playing the fundamentals. Not every day do you come up with a new trade idea, but then the trade recommendations come out from me. Specific entry and exit, dollar risk stops, momentum risk stops, how to play in the market, where to go, and profit objectives with it. I cover all these markets in the futures. There's no sector I don't touch on in some manner. So if that would be of something of interest to you for trade ideas, getting you used to what could be upcoming, what's going to move the markets, well, away you go. And you do get our free Q2 Mobile, which will play my updates for you. In other words, you'll be able to read them. You'll be able to watch the videos that come with this, the special reports. It's all in this. All you need to do is go to iraepstein.com research. It's that simple. So go to our website. You'll see the word research. You can read about it right there. At the very top here, if you move your cursor up to the top over there, or right here. If you're watching me on YouTube, give that a click. It'll take you where you have to go. I'm Ira. Good to be back here. I was off for about 6-7 weeks putting out the updates, but now we're getting the whole room set up and it's starting to work really nice. You have yourself a great evening. Watch the other videos, and I will catch up with you first thing in the morning.